Today, we're gonna be walking through how to set up your new Fingear Tech 2.0 shuttle. I actually have a brand new one here in the box, and I'm gonna walk you guys through all the steps to get this thing ready to rock, from right out of the package to installing the battery to putting your electronics on and basically getting it ready to rock for the ice. If you guys are new here, definitely go down, hit that subscribe button down below. We're gonna be posting a lot of different tutorials on here about our products, and hopefully it gives you an idea of how to put our products together, how to use them, and then maybe even give you some ideas if you're looking at purchasing some of the products that we have here at Fingear. So that being said, let's go ahead, dig into this, and get this shuttle put together. So first things first, you got to pull your shuttle out of the box. Your shuttle is actually going to come wrapped in saran wrap, mainly for shipping. That way nothing's getting scratched or damaged on the way to your house. Inside the box, also make sure you're getting everything out of there. You can see we'll have a little baggie of components, mainly just some nuts and bolts here that we're going to use to put this shuttle together. So once you get that out, the box is no longer necessary, so we can get rid of that. To make my life a little easier, you can unwrap this. I'm just going to use a scissors to kind of cut this plastic away. And boom, just like that. The nice thing about the Fingear Tech 2.0 is this thing is basically already assembled and ready to rock for you. When we take this faceplate off here, you're gonna notice we're gonna have some wires in there that are all ready to go. All we'll have to do is connect our battery. So we'll go ahead, we'll take the faceplate off here. You're gonna need some Allen wrenches for this job. 2 screws on the bottom here that are gonna allow you to access inside of the shuttle, so you can just pop those 2 screws out. When you get your shuttle open here after taking out those 2 screws, you're gonna notice all your wiring is basically gonna be done for you, which is really, really convenient. On the left-hand side of the shuttle, you're actually gonna have a little USB port that you can use. This is gonna be wired in on the left-hand side here. And then on the right-hand side, you're gonna have a switch. And again, all of that is gonna be pre-wired for you. You're gonna have 2 nice splitters. One's gonna have 2 pigtails, red and a black. These are gonna be the pigtails that you are actually connecting to your battery once we get that far. The nice thing with these pigtails is this is the only thing that you should have to attach to your battery. On the second splitter here, you're gonna notice you're gonna have 4 open slots. 2 for black and 2 for red. This is gonna be where you can hook up your black box and your graph. So there's no more having to worry about making sure those connections are done at the terminals of the batteries. You'll be able to simply just plug them into here in order to get those to work. But before we go ahead and do any wiring or get the battery actually installed into the shuttle, we're gonna turn this bad boy around. And if you notice on the back here, you're gonna have these bolts and nuts here that are actually loose. You can leave those loose for now, or you can tighten them up. That's basically just the housing of the shuttle connecting to the base. So you can tighten those up right away, and then the next thing that we're gonna do is actually get our black box installed on the back. If you notice, you will actually have some pre-drilled holes for the black box unit to fit on the back of this. Whether you're using a Garmin or a Lowrance, whatever version of live imaging that you have will work on the back of this shuttle. So let's go ahead, we'll tighten these bolts up and then get this black box installed on the back of this. To tighten these up, you'll just need a 3/8 inch socket and an Allen wrench to go on the back side to keep it tight. Once those are tight, you're good to go there. One thing that I do like to do first before putting this black box on is you do get some Velcro with the shuttle itself. And basically inside of the shuttle, or even if I show you the bottom here, you're gonna notice you have some slots where you can run this Velcro to basically strap your battery in. So I like to put this in way before I put my battery in, that way it's just in there. And then once I get that black box on there, I don't have to deal with that weight or that tipping in order to get these in. So put these in right away, that way they're in there and then you don't have to worry about it later. So you can see I got the straps in there. They're basically just crisscrossed, ready for that battery to go in. But before we put that battery in, we're gonna get this black box here installed onto the back of this. So you're gonna use the components that came with your shuttle here. You should have enough nuts and bolts here to get this attached. I'm actually going to use the 4 longer bolts for this. You'll have some longer ones and shorter ones. The longer ones are going to be the ones that you want to use for the box. To tighten these nuts up here, again, you'll just need a 3/8 inch nut driver and then an Allen wrench to hold that screw on the other side. There we go. And now we're just going to repeat that process for all 4 bolts that go into each corner of the sonar module. There, once you have completed that step, your black box is properly installed onto the back of your shuttle. And now this is all good to go for now. The next step that we're gonna do is we are gonna get this battery installed into the shuttle. I always try to like to keep the battery as centered as possible, simply because you are gonna have that switch and then that USB outlet that you're gonna wanna fit on both sides of this battery. That way your faceplate fits correctly. So try to keep that battery as centered as you can. That way those 2 items fit when you put this back together. All right, there. So we have one of the major components of the shuttle installed. The battery is nice and snug with the 2 straps that we put on there. The next thing that we are going to do is we're not gonna hook up our pigtails quite yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that our power is ran to our little splitter here for our black box and then also for our graph. So what I did is I took the end of the power connectors for my black box. I went ahead and cut those and then stripped those wires. That way I can fit them into the splitter. One thing that you wanna do after you do strip your wire here is just make sure this is twisted. Twist the copper wire there, just kind of twist it against each other. That way you get a nice tight wrap. That way when you put it into the connectors here, they stay nice and snug. We got the black cable. We're gonna put that into one of the blue outlets here. We'll go ahead and close that to make sure it's in there nice and snug. Give it a nice pull, make sure it's in there. And then we're gonna take the positive wire and we're gonna put it right in one of the orange slots on our little splitter here. We'll close that, make sure it's nice and tight and snug. There we go, we got our graph power. We'll just go ahead and make sure these are twisted up as well. We will go red to the orange opening. We'll close that one. And we will take our black and we'll go to the blue opening and then we'll close that. Now we have all of the correct power ran to our wiring harness. All we have to do now is connect our 2 pigtails to the battery and everything should be able to power on. One thing that I recommend doing is grabbing yourself some zip ties. That way you can kind of roll up this extra cable and kind of tuck it inside of the shuttle here. If you zip tie it, then everything kind of stays nice and stationary inside of there. And you don't have a bunch of cables kind of moving around. Right up there. Make sure she's centered. Just pull that tight. Yeah, power to our graph that will connect here shortly. The next thing that you're gonna wanna do before you get too much further is you're gonna wanna get your graph bracket here mounted to the shuttle. So you'll notice you'll have a bunch of holes here. It's very universal, so you just gotta wanna line this up. And then what you're gonna do is use those other fasteners that came with your kit here. These should be the shorter ones. You can go ahead and pop those down. Once you get all those started, you'll just need a 3/8 inch wrench then, and then you can hold that nut and then tighten it with the Allen wrench. If you do have bigger hands or you don't like working in cramped spaces, you might wanna just make sure that you put this part on before you put the battery in. That'll make this just a little bit easier. We're pretty much ready to rock with this. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna reinstall the faceplate. Actually, I'm gonna connect my battery first and then I'll reinstall my faceplate here. Then we're gonna be ready to attach the graph, hook up our networking cable and add the transducer and we're pretty much gonna be good to go. All right, now that we got that faceplate back on there, everything is pretty much ready to rock with this unit. We got the battery installed, it's all wired, ready to go. We have our black box on. We actually have our power ran to the black box already. We have our power cord here for our graph that we're gonna mount onto our graph mount here. And then the only thing left that we have to do is hook up our network cables and then add our transducer. So we'll go ahead and put our graph on now. There we go, our graph is mounted. Now we can go ahead and connect the network cable here that goes from the graph is gonna go into the black box. There we go. So we got our network cable on, the graph is installed, power is connected to everything. We're pretty much ready to rock. The only thing that we need to do is attach our transducer assembly to this, and this shuttle is now ready to fish. So this is the complete Fingear Tech 2.0 shuttle setup. If you like what you see, definitely go down and hit that subscribe button down below. I will leave the link to this shuttle listed down below too if you would like to check it out. They're available on the website. They're super affordable and they're very user-friendly. Super easy to use, and obviously you can get these things set up in no time. So if you're looking for an awesome shuttle for this ice season, definitely check out fingear.com. Again, I will leave them listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys out on the water.